Taking note of this matter raised by Senator Pocock, I think it is worth noting that we are all custodians of the institution, and when the Senate has ordered the production of documents, and I note the government says that there are too many, it is nonetheless an order of the Senate that the executive government should certainly do its best to comply with. Now, I have to say that was a pretty regrettable response then from Minister Wong. The reality is that the journalist was able to get more information on the same matter than the parliament. That is the reality here. And this is the third such case I'm aware of in this parliament where a freedom of information request has yielded vastly more information over an identical piece of information than an order for production of documents. So it is bizarre at the minimum that the government would treat the Senate with such contempt, particularly noting that the government campaigned on the basis that it would show fidelity to transparency and integrity, that it would be transparent. And it has gone out of its way to obfuscate and cover up documents which were germane to orders for production of documents. And it has been endemic across the executive government. In past sessions, we have canvassed the fact that the Treasurer of the Commonwealth signed a false document where he asserted that there were commercial in confidence matters which were subject to an order for production in relation to the CBUS Super Fund. Now, helpfully, I had filed a Freedom of Information request for the same information as a citizen, and I was able to receive more information about this matter as a citizen than I could as a senator. So the government is treating this chamber like absolute dirt. Senator Pocock is right to be aggrieved. In the case of Dr Chalmers filing a false letter with this Senate which claimed commercial in confidence information for CBUS, the Information Commissioner threw it out and said that this was lobbying. The Information Commissioner said this was really about, quote, to achieve a change in the government's policy. So Dr Chalmers here, I think, has really let his colours down by doing this. And now, as it stands, we have another OPD over a report that the Senate has sought, where Mr Chalmers, Dr Chalmers here, has said to the Senate in November 2024 that the agency known as APRA has indicated that this is likely to be protected information, and therefore he wasn't going to provide that. So as a result, I thought we'll get some advice here, and the clerk has said that Odgers is quite clear here, and that there is no arrangement here for the Treasurer to cover up this information. And the clerk says, and to quote the clerk, to confirm, the Australian Prudential Regulation Authority Act does not contain provisions which would constrain the Senate's powers. In other words, the clerk has said that Dr Chalmers has to give this report to the Senate because, and again, he has some form here, his letter is wrong. His letter is wrong. So the Treasurer here is a repeat offender, and it seems, again, noting Senator Pocock's contribution, that the Prime Minister also is party to this arrangement where the government, the executive government, wants to treat this chamber, which was elected by the Australian people, with absolute contempt. It will not comply with the orders of the Senate, and therefore it is prepared to treat the Australian people with contempt. And after having campaigned on integrity and transparency, the government has not met that standard, and it is no wonder that the Australian people are deeply disillusioned with this government.